I, 27F, was on a long-haul flight, excited for my much-needed vacation. I had booked my seat months in advance, a nice window seat with extra legroom. After checking in and going through security, I finally boarded the plane, only to find a woman, maybe in her late 30s, sitting in my seat. She had a small child next to her, maybe 5 or 6 years old. I politely told her, "Excuse me, I think you're in my seat." She barely looked up and said, "Oh, I needed to sit with my son. You don't mind taking another seat, do you?" I glanced around. The flight was nearly full, and the only available seats were cramped middle seats at the back of the plane. I checked my ticket again, just to be sure, and replied, "I'm sorry, but I paid extra for this seat. Your assigned seat should be on your boarding pass." She huffed and rolled her eyes. "Come on, it's just a seat. You're young. You'll be fine in the back." At this point, I could feel the people around us watching. I sighed and flagged down a flight attendant. She came over, and I calmly explained the situation. The entitled mom immediately cut in, saying, "I need to sit with my son. She can just sit somewhere else. It's not a big deal." The flight attendant asked to see both of our boarding passes. I handed mine over without hesitation, but the mom pretended to fumble through her bag, stalling. The flight attendant didn't buy it and firmly told her, "You are in the wrong seat. Please move to your assigned seats." Instead of complying, the woman got defensive. "You don't understand. My son will have a meltdown if we're separated. Just let her take another seat." At this point, I wasn't the only one getting annoyed. A few passengers started murmuring, and the flight attendant was clearly losing patience. If you needed to sit together, you should have arranged that at booking. You cannot just take another passenger's seat." The entitled mom scoffed, then looked at me as if expecting me to back down. But I held my ground. "I'm sorry, but I paid for this seat. I'm not giving it up." She suddenly snapped, yelling, "You're so selfish. It's just a seat. She doesn't even have a child. What kind of person refuses to help a mother?" By now, the flight attendant had had enough. She called over another crew member, and after a brief discussion, they told the woman she had two choices: move to her assigned seats or get off the plane. That's when she made the dumbest mistake. She shouted, "This is unfair. You can't kick me off just because she's being a brat." The flight attendants exchanged a look, then nodded. Moments later, an airport security officer arrived. The mom started pleading, saying she would move, but it was too late. The officer told her she had violated flight regulations and needed to leave. She tried to argue, but they weren't having it. Her kid started crying as she was escorted off the plane. Another passenger kindly offered to sit with the child's father so the kid wouldn't have to fly alone. As for me, I got to enjoy my flight in peace. When we landed, I checked my phone and saw a text from my friend, "You're going viral on TikTok." Turns out, someone had recorded the whole thing. Moral of the story: don't try to steal someone's seat and then throw a tantrum when you get caught.